Hey, welcome to another episode on Genealogy TV. My name is Connie Knox. I am a lifelong genealogist here to help you go further, faster, and factually with your family research. Today, we are talking about the Salt Lake Institute of Genealogy. If you're not familiar with it, it's also known as SLIG. Before we get started, though, I want to remind you to subscribe and ring the bell so that we get notified each time we upload a video. Also, Genealogy TV has a newsletter and a new website. Special thanks to my sister at Susan Henley Designs for helping me figure out what I couldn't figure out with that website. She's really good. So links for her and all of the things that we talk about in this episode are going to be in the show notes below, as well as the new blog at genealogytv.org. So, a note about Salt Lake Institute of Genealogy in that they are not a sponsor of this video. So I want you to know that all of the opinions you'll see in this interview are mine and mine alone. I am not trying to sell anything. So, conferences versus institutes. Let's talk about that for a moment because I mistakenly referenced the Salt Lake Institute of Genealogy as a conference a couple times, which I should not have. It's really an institute. The difference being that a conference, often has a large conference hall with vendors and stuff. That is not what this is. This is an opportunity for you to spend a week taking a deep dive into a specific subject of your choice and really digging in and learning all there is to know about it with some professional genealogists who are truly the experts in these areas. So, this particular institute we're talking about is the Salt Lake Institute of Genealogy, who is put on by the Utah Genealogical Association. They're also known as the UGA. So what I'd like to point out is these guys are so big that most of the members are outside of Utah. So I'm just saying. All right, today we are joined by Peg Ivanyo. She is the director at SLIG, and she's going to share with us some educational opportunities at the Salt Lake Institute of Genealogy. But wait, there's more. Stick around to the end of the video because she has given us some door prizes to give away for SLIG. So you're going to want to stick around for that. We're going to jump into it right now. Hey, welcome to Genealogy TV. I'm so glad you're here. So we're here today to talk about SLIG, or, Salt Lake Institute of Genealogy, for those who are not familiar with the term SLIG, but everybody seems to refer to it as SLIG.
Yes.
So there's three things we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about the virtual fall course, and we're going to talk about SLIG 2020, which it's never too early to talk about, in my opinion. And then we're going to talk about the professional course that comes right on the heels of that. So let's start with the virtual course, if you don't mind, and tell us just for those who are not familiar with SLIG. Let's just start with that, with the whole concept. Before we really get into all the details, tell us a little bit about maybe SLIG, maybe how it was born.
Right. Appreciate it. And I appreciate you hosting me today, Connie.
Thank you.
So the Salt Lake Institute of Genealogy began about 25 years ago. In fact, January 2020 will be our silver anniversary.
Wow.
It was started by the Utah Genealogical Association, which is kind of a virtual association in the sense that it has members throughout the nation and throughout the world. And is focused on education rather than record sources. And so they have a variety of programs. This is their premier institute program. SLIG is one of several national institutes. It's an in-depth education experience. So for a week, you sink your teeth into the course of your choice and build knowledge, if you will, on that topic. So as we look at the different courses that SLIG has available, you might, for instance, spend an entire week on just U.S. church records, or Chinese research, or advanced Hispanic research. So it's a way to advance your education very rapidly in the areas that you feel you need to. So it's different than a conference. And I think that's the first thing that people need to understand. You don't get
I was at SLIG a couple of years ago, and wow. It really is I don't want to say crash course because it's so in depth. I took a class on immigration with John Coletta, and fabulous. Oh my gosh, it was awesome. And for I guess it was four and a half or 5 straight days. I had a great time. Got to meet a lot of people, and it was fascinating. I really, really enjoyed it. I can't wait to get to another one.
Good. Well, we hope you'll come back. It is a lot like taking a college course all crashed into a week, but then we try to have some fun, in the meantime. So.
Well, and you are right down the street from the Family History Center, right?
Right. The Family History Library, and we run shuttles. So after classes are over, you're able to go up and research and spend some time on your own things there.
And for those who have not been, while there is shuttles, I walked it every time. It was, 4 blocks maybe? I don't remember exactly, but it was a nice walk, unless it was absolutely snowing outside or something. But I had a good time. So let's talk about the virtual conference. So you're doing a virtual conference this fall, which I have not attended one, so I would love to do that. Tell us about the virtual conference.
So there's 2 things. The virtual conference is a UGA conference, just to clarify, that's being held in September with DNA and methodology. But we have 3 virtual SLIG courses that are being run in the fall. We've been very careful because, as you've seen, that in-person, you can't replace that in-person piece when you're in an institute environment. But we do find that there are some advantages and conditions where having a virtual program is appropriate. So the first one that we started with several years back is the Advanced Evidence Analysis Practicum. Angela Packer-McGee hosts or coordinates that. And it was modeled after a course that she had taught for many, many years at SLIG, and she wanted to bring it into a virtual environment to reach out to those who want to be able to study from the comfort of their own home. This year, it will be all DNA cases. The practicum it's for advanced genealogists, so it's based on case studies. You receive one each week. You research it all week long, try to solve the case, and then you come together with your other students, cohorts, discuss it, learn from the case instructor how they solved it, and build on your knowledge base in that way. So
that sounds like so much fun.
It is an amazing course. Now,
are there limits on the number of people that can attend these virtual?
Yes. So
really?
She actually restricts this to 20 or 25 people in each session.
Okay. And how many sessions are there going to be?
We'll open 2. We may be able to host a 3rd if the demand is there. That's often happened with the restriction in the number of people. But you submit your homework each week, and it's reviewed, and then they discuss it. So
I can see why you have to limit it then.
Right.
That's a lot of homework to review if you got 200 people.
And there's a lot of preparation that goes into these cases, as you can imagine. Sometimes it's years of preparation that they've put into these, but they're all unpublished, things that you can't find out there on the web already. And so we've got speakers this year like Blaine Bettinger and Tom Jones and Karen Stanberry, Paul Woodbury, Melissa Johnson. Those are the 5 case instructors. That one runs for 6 weeks. Tests your skills. On the opposite end of the scale, we introduced this last spring, which I guess wasn't too long ago, was it? March and May, an intermediate foundations course with Sarah Scribner. And that will run again in the fall for 11 weeks. She brings in a variety of instructors on all kinds of topics. but it's intended for the person who maybe isn't quite ready to attend SLIG. They don't have that strong intermediate foundation of knowledge underneath them, and so they're not ready to sink in a little deeper. So for 11 weeks, they meet, they have 2 classes. Each meeting, they submit homework, then they review the homework. They don't get individual comments back on the homework. We do allow 30 to 40 people into that course. But the instructors will drop into the Facebook group that is there to support people and chat with them during the week. And it's an amazing experience.
Very cool.
That one actually is going to run during the day on Tuesdays in the fall. We ran it in the evening when we tried it in the spring. So the last one that we're offering this year is in-depth Swedish and Finnish research with Elaine Hazelton and Jeff Svari. It's kind of a part 2, modeled after one that they had done several years back at SLIG. Last year they did Norway, Denmark, and Iceland. This year they will do Sweden and Finland. And they invite overseas instructors as well as those that are very, very well known in this level of research. And it will be taught on Wednesdays during the day.
Fantastic. So I think when I did my research that the registration for that opens June 15th, not too far away, yes?
Right. It opens on Saturday in the middle of June. So that's coming right up.
Wonderful. Well, let's talk about SLIG 2020. I mean, it's never too early. For those who are not familiar with the normal conference, that's usually in January, isn't it?
It is in January, and we have 2 weeks now. So we have SLIG the second week of January, and then we have the Academy for Professionals, which follows it in the third week of January.
And for those who are not familiar, this is in Salt Lake City.
It's in Salt Lake City. We run them at the Hilton Salt Lake City Center, which is, as you said, it's about 3.5 blocks away from the Family History Library, which is convenient for those who like to walk. And then, as I said, we have shuttles for those who don't prefer that. But it's very comfortable. They give us great rates at a 4-star hotel. They realize we're genealogists and we have a budget. And everything is right there, pretty much, at the Hilton. All your classes and events and SLIG Central, where you can shop for swag and network with other people.
Now, have you got a course lineup for that yet?
We do. Each of the courses are now online. So if people go to slig.ugagenealogy.org, they will be able to look at the information for all of the virtual courses, for SLIG and for the Academy. The courses and the faculty are listed. And one of the important things that sometimes people miss, I know we're researchers, but often we get in a hurry, is when you look at the course title and read the description and the information about the coordinator, at the bottom it says read more. They really need to open that, because that opens up everything else. What are the prerequisites? Who are the other instructors? A day-by-day course schedule that tells you exactly what you're going to learn and who from each day of the week. That helps them determine if it's a good fit or not. We expect that students come with a intermediate level of research background. So all of these courses are intermediate to advanced, and that will give them the information to try to figure out if they're taking something that will help them or is just maybe they need to take it another year. So you'll notice when you open that up, that course that you mentioned with John Philip Coletta for immigration is at the top of the list. It was taught 3 years ago and was very popular. He's an amazing.
It really was good. And, I didn't have any expectations, I guess, because I wasn't quite sure. And boy, the depth that he went into for that course was just amazing. So I recommend the course.
And in addition to the instruction, they come out with a big, thick syllabus. We let them go up to like about 260 pages. They don't all use all that. Some actually bribe me to get more. You end up with a a bound syllabus that you can use for ongoing reference for a long time to come.
So what's the bribe, like chocolate or flowers or I'm just kidding.
Hugs and kisses, I don't know.
I'm just joking. But yeah, it's funny you said make sure you read all that information. I was so excited about going. I read that thing like 5 times. I was like reading all the detail. First of all, there is a lot of information, and you want to make sure that you're in the right place at the right time and that you are, prepared, that you have the laptop or the whatever that they are asking you to bring, because I think almost all the courses probably require a laptop and not just an iPad, at least one of the ones that I had gone to not too long ago.
The ones that require you to bring technology will be very specific about what you need to bring with you and what software you have to have installed before you attend.
I think it was the DNA course. That was because you had a lot of stuff that you had to look up and stuff. And the roommate that I had, she took the DNA course, and that definitely I know was a requirement for that particular one.
So you're talking about the one with Karen Stanberry, right?
This was CC Moore, I think is the one. I think it was 2016.
They've both been very laptop intensive. We've got a new one that Karen Stanberry is offering this year that focuses all on the new DNA standards.
Nice.
So it won't be laptop heavy. It'll be brain intense heavy. It'll be great.
Sounds fantastic. Okay, so did we miss anything on SLIG? Do we get the dates? The dates are January 12th through the 17th?
Right, and the 12th is a Sunday. So we open with a reception, an orientation session, a few door prizes. I mean, we try to make it a little fun.
It was fun.
And then we close on Friday evening with a banquet. Sometimes we'll have some receptions or different things in the middle of the week, but people end up with so much homework and networking and things they want to do that we've learned not to throw too much in there. We are going to host a SLIG day at the Family History Library on the Saturday following, and it will be free.
There was some good extra workshops, I guess. They were like an hour long or something at the Family History. I attended a couple of them when I was there. Very, very good. And you guys had the right mix because there, after a day of intense study, you do need a little downtime to just kind of catch your breath and maybe grab a beverage and some dinner and, just kind of unwind a little bit. But, it seemed like I was always like shoveling it down because I couldn't wait to get to the Family History Center for an hour or two before they closed.
Right. Yeah.
Man, and I'll tell you what, I brought home some great stuff that I was researching at the time, my Danish ancestry, and I ran into a lady at the Family History Center who was an expert in Danish history. And she opened some doors for me. I was like, I just wanted to go, I bow to you. Oh, it was fantastic. So it was really a good time. I can't wait to do it again sometime. So, okay, so on the heels of the regular SLIG versus the virtual SLIG we talked about earlier, but this one we've been talking about in January, you're doing the professional conference. I guess that's like the week immediately after that weekend, right?
It is the week immediately after. And the SLIG Academy for Professionals came about to fill a need. I was getting a lot of proposals for things that didn't fit SLIG but fit this mode. And our initial reaction was, well, they should probably be doing these for half-day workshops here or there at the APG or the NGS. But they need more time. They need that week-long experience. So it is a little bit shorter, where at the SLIG you get, I think it's 25 hours or more of instruction. At the Academy, it will be 21 hours or more. We will still have a short networking event on Sunday, but very, very casual. Less intensity, if you will, and more networking. And we will open that Monday morning, which is Martin Luther King Day, with a commemorative event in his honor.
Oh, wonderful.
That was last year. We had Reverend Nelson do a rendition of the "I Have a Dream" speech, and it was so touching.
Oh, wonderful.
But it's important, I think, because we open on that holiday, that we recognize what that day is all about. So we're going to have a breakfast this year with a commemorative event, and then we'll have classes after that. And it will end on Friday with a luncheon, a closing luncheon. Following that, we will have some optional professional workshops on topics of technology and different things that will help professionals move forward. So a little bit of a different week. Again, still intense. A lot of homework, but we've got everything from public speaking with Josh Taylor to writing and documenting for peer review with Karen Maurer-Jones. It's just an amazing lineup this year.
So I'm going to put a link in the show notes about where they can, folks can find all of this information about the virtual conference, the regular SLIG, and the Academy if they want to, but it's all in the same place pretty much on the website. Was there anything else that I may have missed?
No, I think if you don't mind, I'd like to take a minute and just talk about some of the extra events.
Absolutely.
Those who've been to SLIG before will be familiar with the fact that for the last 4 years, we've had this SLIG night at the Family History Library on Wednesday evenings. You referenced that. We've actually picked that up and moved it to Saturday. So that Saturday between SLIG and the Academy, so people coming to either one or both can attend. And it will be called SLIG Day, but it'll actually be the afternoon. ICAP Gen will sponsor some free classes and labs and a reception of sorts, some tours if they need it. And then in the evening, we're going to have different vendors provide free instruction. And the Family History Library has agreed to let us lock in late so we can research till 11 p.m.
Oh, it's almost like a slumber party. That sounds like fun.
So it's a combination of what we had on a Saturday before was a SLIG Tech Day and the SLIG Night at the Family History Library. And we're celebrating our 25th anniversary by moving them all to Saturday. And because it's at the library, it's all free.
Wonderful. This is just, this sounds exciting. So, one of the things we really didn't talk about was registration and or cost. Do you want to jump in?
Yes. So, and the costs for each one are a little different.
Okay.
They're all kind of a similar range. But let's just start with SLIG, for instance. Tuition for the Institute is $595 for the week. That includes your reception ticket, your banquet ticket, access to the special events, the printed and digital syllabus, and coffee break or hot chocolate, whatever you prefer, in the mornings.
And it was worth every penny, I promise you.
It sounds like a lot, but when you add up 25 hours of instruction plus everything else, it's really quite economical.
Yeah.
The UGA members get a $50 discount off that tuition. And again, a $50 discount off of the Academy tuition. And if they attend both a dual program, you get a dual program discount of $50. So if you're attending both SLIG and the Academy and staying for both weeks, that will automatically apply when you register. So as a SLIG member, you pay $35. You get Crossroads Magazine 4 times a year. You get access to the UGA DNA webinars. You get the DNA or the virtual chapter and all of the other things that they produce that are educational based, and access to back issues behind the scenes. And then you could save up to $150.
And that is as a UGA member. Yes.
It's kind of a no-brainer, but believe it or not, we actually have people who don't join UGA and still register for SLIG. I would say about 70%, 60-70% of UGA members are nationwide, and a lot of those are SLIG attendees.
Well, I'm a member, and I signed up originally when I first signed up for SLIG. So it definitely was a benefit and continues to be. So you were going to tell us about the registration piece.
So registration for those who haven't attended SLIG is a bit of a shock. Because we restrict the course sizes, some of them to 15, some of them to 30 or 40. Probably 2/3 of them will fill in the first 3 minutes of registration. In the last few years, we have registered 360, 380 people in the first day.
So, word of advice to those who are considering going, try to be Johnny on the spot and get into the registration. I did not get into my first course choice, but my second choice was that immigration class, and I was not disappointed. And so that was fantastic. And so, just make sure you have a couple different choices available. But yeah.
And we have a new registration system. So we will begin here in the next month posting up information about how to get an account set up for that, because that's different. Even if you're a UGA member, you have to set up a SLIG registration account. You'll need to use your same email that you use for UGA in order for it to recognize that discount and apply it. And you'll get all that set up long before you even open for registration. And then registration for SLIG opens on, I think it's July 13th. I got that down right, at 9 a.m.
I think that's what I have here.
The Academy's at 2. So you literally want to be on there watching that clock, sit down, and it just automatically will open registration. You don't have to refresh your screen or anything. It'll just open for you.
All right, well, let's be clear. That's 9 a.m. which time zone?
Mountain Daylight Time. And make sure, yes. It's also set up so that you can select your wait list courses up to 4 right then. So you no longer have to register and then go out and add yourself to a wait list if you've missed something. Occasionally somebody tries to get the last seat and it kicks them back because somebody beat them to it, but it'll automatically waitlist them and ask them for their next thing. So it helps you move through very rapidly. Then we do special events registration separately. So that doesn't slow you down. We do everything we can to get you out of there with your course.
Wonderful. All right, well, let me ask you this, as long as we're on that subject, what's the cancellation policy? If somebody, like, for instance, me, I don't know if you remember this or not, but my husband got sick and I wasn't able to go 2017, I wasn't able to go at the last minute. And so, can you explain a little bit about the cancellation policy in case there's something like that?
Yes, it's actually pretty standard with other conferences. There's a period of time where you've already committed all the funds that somebody gave you and you can't give it back, unfortunately. But that's pretty liberal. Last year, the deadline was November 30th. And so if you think that's 6 weeks before it starts, at that point in time, anytime before that, you get all of your tuition back minus a $50 cancellation administration fee. After that, we can't provide a refund. The virtual programs are similar. The amount to refund or keep for the administration fee is less. And each one of them will be published online. So what I apologize for is that hasn't yet been updated. I'm seeing on our website. Will be shortly. But when they go to the website, there is a policies page, and it's very important that they review that. There's a code of conduct that we added last year. Code of Ethics and Professional Conduct explains what we expect out of them while they're attending SLIG as it relates to the respect and privacy of others. Then there's the privacy policy, of course, that tells them what we're going to do with their data once we have it and how we protect it. And then there's a registration and cancellation page. And it says now under construction to be updated shortly.
There you go.
That will be fixed.
Well, I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to us. Did we miss anything?
A lot of fun.
It definitely is.
It's very academic, but we mix into that the networking socials, the door prizes. We reward you for posting your selfies online and writing in your blog. And
I forgot about that. Yes.
yeah, we have things like world memberships at Ancestry and MyHeritage and Find My Past and DNA kits. And we actually, the grand prize drawing goes to someone who really impressed us, but what they win is the right to register early and not have to sit posted at the keyboard at 9 a.m. the following year. That's a highly coveted prize.
I remember. Yes. So fantastic. This is really cool. And, you know, for those at home who haven't been to a SLIG conference before, to me, it's like it's like the family history version of Disneyland. You know, I mean, it really is, because you're spending, and it's not work. You're there for a week doing what you love, and you're learning more about what you already have got your teeth sunk into. So, I mean, I think it's fabulous.
And it's important to note it's very different from a conference. We're not going to have vendors. We have two. Maya's bookstore comes and makes sure that things that are relevant to what you're studying are available. And UGA staffs a booth for information and sells SLIG swag. So you can come out with a sweatshirt or a cap or something if you want. But then we have, you know, BCG and ICAP Gen and APG, they just provide information. So it's not a commercial venture, and they're not bombarded with all of that extra stuff to scatter the information.
I want to think that people that were going for their BCG certification, I want to think there was a table there that had some examples there that people could peruse. So for those who are not familiar with BCG, Board for Certification of Genealogists, if you're seeking certification, there's usually examples there.
They have their portfolios there, and they'll set a specific period of time after classes when you can view them. And ICAP Gen actually does the same now.
Okay.
So
yeah, I remember doing it like during coffee breaks and lunch breaks and such. So yes, and I do remember picking up, and I still wear it today. A little hot outside today, but the SLIG hoodie. I love my SLIG hoodie. Love, love, love. I still wear it a lot. I've about worn it out, but yes, absolutely. Well, fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We'll put some links in the show notes below for anybody so that they can get more information and easy click through to the SLIG website. I appreciate it so much.
I appreciate you having me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Peg, thanks so much for your time and knowledge. We really appreciate it, and we really appreciate the door prizes as well. So let's talk about the contest. All right, so you need to sign up for the Genealogy TV newsletter. And if you're already on the Genealogy TV newsletter, you need to follow this link again and fill out the form. It's just your first and last name and email address. And you have a chance to win one of two prizes. So the two prizes are a $50 credit to anything at the SLIG store. So go over to that link and fill it out. So where's the link, you ask? Well, the link is at genealogytv.org. It's our brand new website. I have put a button up there for you to click through. You can get all the rules and the information and fill out. It's really easy, super easy. All you got to do, first name, last name, email address, and boom, you're in. So we will be pulling winners for that. All the deadlines and everything is at genealogytv.org. I left a link to the website there in the show notes below. So if you like that, give us a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel, and don't forget we're on Facebook. Go find us over there. Sometimes we have different information, a lot of discussions going on. Also, I would love to know, give us comments below. Have you ever been to a SLIG institute before and taken any of the courses there, virtual or otherwise? And if so, tell us about your experience. We want to hear from you. All right, well, that's about all I have for today. Until next time, keep on climbing your family tree.